Good morning. Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Shawnee, Maureen, Kia, Laura, Carla, Lady Prairie. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Whoop. I left it. You don't need. Hello, guys. How's everybody doing today? Hello, Court. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. How was everybody's weekend? Anyone else shook about the appointment of Jeremy Carl? White House with... Is Jeremy Carl the guy who was basically a white supremacist? Did he actually get through? We are still breathing. That's something, right? That is something, right? Yep. Yep. Sometimes that's all you can ask for. I have found the White House is doubling down on his appointment. What do you mean doubling down? Be right back, coffee. Oogie. Oh, defending him. Well, yeah, that's not going to get him through Congress or through the Senate. He was so blatant, and with the backlash now on the Epstein files, I don't see him being able to get through. But with this Congress, I wish I were super confident of that. Morning, Ash. How are you doing today? So what happened in South Jersey with the kids running away? No, what? I don't think so. Maybe. Hey, Ambrosia. You know, I 100% agree. Unfortunately, we need 4 senators to vote against it for it to not go through. And I fear, that is my fear. There's no way that Democrats will vote for him. But hey, Emma, did you end up making that that emote or that graphic? Hey, Angel. Hello. They were at a bus stop. I starting to get out of vehicles and kids ran scared. They were caught on Ring cameras. Of course they were. Of course they were. I'm going to be interviewing another person who lives in Minnesota Thursday. Talk about what it's currently like there after they've left. Welcome back. Yeah, Tillis. I mean, Tillis is Tillis, so he is the epitome of the overarching problem in our government. This idea that you can protect, that you can on one side be like, this isn't okay, but really in the grand scheme of things, not willing to go any farther with it. I need to send you a message about a question from one of the candidates. It's just been a hectic weekend. No worries, Ash. No worries. I feel bad. Someone sent me a message asking me a question and it got sent to junk mail and I didn't see it. And it's been sitting there for almost 2 weeks. I felt bad. Hey, Clara. If you guys haven't seen the thumbnail for today's video, you should see it. I had a little too much fun with it. I had a lot too much fun with it, but it was worth it. Even if nobody watches it, I had fun with it. So it's 5 p.m. somewhere. That's true. 8 hours. That would be somewhere in Asia. It'd be 5 p.m. I think. It may still be Europe. I really like the candidate from Virginia. I mean, there's 3 candidates for that district that I have interviewed 2 of them, Tim and Elizabeth, and there's going to be a 3rd one. No mail today, correct? Correct. It's President's Day. Morning, Summer. And that's all from one district, those 3 people. Russia, it's like 5:44. There you go. And they love to drink. So they're all about that drinking. No mail means no bills. There you go. Time zones will never not be confusing. I mean, that's fair. It's annoying, that's for sure. The only reason it hasn't bugged me in this whole process is the computers do it automatically for me. So I just put what time I'm free and what time I can do things for mine, and it automatically changes it for everybody else. We'll celebrate. I mean, President's Day is not technically for celebrating the current president. It's for celebrating the older presidents. So we can still celebrate President's Day. Like I said, now I'm sure our current president thinks President's Day is a day to celebrate him, but it's not. One of my friends is in Australia. They spring forward when we fall back, so it goes from 12 hours to 14 hours difference. Dang. That's crazy. Good morning, Jeremiah. Trying to think if anything specific happened over the weekend that worth talking about. I mean, DHS is shut down. Good for people holding the line, except for Fetterman, who's still just every time I think Fetterman can't be more of a piece of shit, he comes out as more of a piece of shit. Valentine's Day? Yeah, did you guys do anything on Valentine's Day? We don't do anything on Valentine's Day. So when people told me it's Valentine's Day, I was like, oh, okay. I mean, he's the only Democrat that voted for voted for the bill to open DHS. And then he said, I forget what he said after it, but it was just stupid. You made your husband and son a steak dinner? There you go. I watched Rubio speak at the conference. That was ridiculous. I can only imagine. I helped out a friend at their crystal shop on Valentine's Day. I forgot that it was Valentine's Day. There you go. Friday the 13th followed by Valentine's Day. A bit ominous. Yeah. Went out to dinner and saw a movie. Ooh, what movie? I went out with friends for Galentine's Day on Friday, then spent the day with hubby, lunch, got a puzzle board, watched Olympics, started a puzzle. There you go. We did nothing. Same. Send help. Never heard of it. Never heard of it. Crime 101. Interesting. Shows how little I pay attention to what movies are out there. Hmm. I mean, it wouldn't be a real movie if a bunch of crap didn't go down, right? When my kids were little, I made them decorative coupon bookings for doing their chores, ice cream dates, etc. Heck yeah. Yeah. We're spending moolah traveling to Georgia for my son's graduation, so that's our Valentine's gift. There you go. Yeah, spending moolah these days, not a fun thing, is it? Not a fun thing at all. Oh, the cats are here. You want to do a movie club if anyone's interested? There you go. Yeah, guys, if you're interested in doing a movie club with Ambrosia, let her know. Kitties are chatty this morning. I feel like kitties are chatty every morning. Still haven't seen Sing Sung Blue, and I saw The Real Thunder and Lightning back in the day. My friends from high school's dad was their manager, Jim Belushi. Ooh. I just really like movies where strong women stop taking crap. Yeah. Ramonda was just sitting there on the keyboard. There you go. Ramonda had some strong opinions. It's true. Back, you think? Well, welcome back. Possibly. Spend a bit of time outside this weekend. We're having a heat wave. It's more like May than February. Yeah, we're supposed to be getting, I think the end of the week, we're supposed to be hitting like in the 70s. Just wild. Yeah, Thursday and Friday, it's supposed to be in the 70s and then go back down into the 50s. Because, of course. Because, of course. But this is just the first fake spring. I know winter is not over yet. It's, well, here it's pretty close to over. Our winter pretty much ends mid-February here. It's damp and chilly right now. We got some much needed rain yesterday. Yes, we did. Lots of it too. March is historically your snowiest month. Oh, interesting. It's been in the 50s for the last few days. 2 weeks ago, we were a frozen tundra. I see. Yeah, it's been like slowly getting warmer around here. Slowly. I don't remember what I was about to. Still have big, gross snow piles everywhere. There's still a couple areas around us that have snow. It's like areas that are like, because of the direction of the sun is, that are basically in the shade the whole time. That's it. Pretty much everywhere else is snowless. Although with the rain yesterday, probably everything's snowless now. If you need to know, just come down to Alaska. There you go. Emma, I don't know if you answered. Did you ever end up making that image? You were talking about making like an emote or something. A fire lips emote. It's going to be almost 70 today in Denver, Colorado. Crazy. Too bad climate change isn't a thing. Yeah, I know. Too bad. Okay. That's fine. I don't want to forget about it because I know it's going to get brought up, especially when Suge comes in. Is that what he did? Is that what he did? I still can't believe somebody in this community either renamed their account or made a new account called Mike's Lips. We were talking about Colorado this morning in Beck's Live and how my foot just now thawed out from last year putting my foot in that snow river. Mike's Lips followed me the other day. My lips are obviously making the rounds. Oh dear. Are you really surprised? I mean, a lot of us love the shenanigans. No, I'm not surprised. Not in the grand scheme of things. Yep. And the PFP is my lips. Yep. Your lips are sliding through the whole community. I thought that was Christy Gnome's job. Morning, Philip. Yeah, out of context, that sounds like the start of a horror movie. That's true, Carla. I'd much rather my lips be famous than another part of my body. It's true. It's true. I feel like in the grand scheme of things, it was actually a pretty quiet weekend on the news front. I mean, there are obviously things that happened, but it was weird to not have like something major happen. You know? It's Monday. Anything's possible. Oh, I am 100% expecting something to happen today. I'm just saying the fact that nothing like groundbreaking is the SAVE Act going to become a thing. I don't think so, but as with anything, nothing's 100%. I think there's a reason SAVE Act 1.0 never got brought to the floor. SAVE Act 2.0 is worse. And it's got the same issues. IKEA. Canadians cheating on curling. I didn't hear that. Came out that there was a credible Trump allegation. I mean, sure, for us that actually are willing to hold people accountable, it's a thing. But until like the GOP or Republicans are willing to hold him accountable for it, it's just another in a long list of things that we already knew, right? Like that's the ultimate problem. You have a hard time seeing the chat on the tube. Cannot get it to come up. Interesting. Hi, Minnesota Mom. Also. Still not on Newsmax, though. They don't want his supporters knowing. Don't think they care. Look at all of the stuff that they have justified over the years. Look at all the protection that file has had since the allegations first came out. Yeah, I saw that, Philip. It's so messed up. Your mom, John. You missed a your mom joke? Yes. Hi, Vonda. How are you doing? Good morning, Betty. Good morning, Laura. Their moral and ethical gymnastics they need is unbelievable. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. Of course it is, JC. That's why you're here. Good morning, Lori. John's handle is a teenage girl's clothing brand. I wish I were surprised. I wish I were surprised. Their mental gymnastics is at Olympic levels. Yup. Just got back from Mexico. Ooh. Hopefully you had a good time. Guys, remember to tap that nose. It pushes it out to other people, as well as joining the fan club and sharing it, doing all the things. I wish I were surprised at that, Vonda. I wish I were surprised at that. Afternoon here from the UK. Seems Andrew X Prince is being investigated. Good. Only we could get everyone investigated. Oh, you mean Hassan? Yeah, I saw that. I saw that clip. Hey Lulu, how are you? Good. Yeah, well, anything that'll help him grow, I guess. World is listening and want action. Essex Gal, so many of us want action. It's one of the reasons I'm doing what I'm doing, is in the hopes that we'll get action. Hey Dynasty, how are you doing? Thank you guys. Thank you for the roses. And the hearts. Nope. Nope, blah blah blah. The borders were not wide open, and they are not fully closed. Inflation went down a little from last month, but it is still up from when the current administration came into office. And even though overall inflation went down, the things that 90% of the country deal with on a regular basis, inflation skyrocketed. Borders were not wide open. They are not closed now. People are still crossing the border. Hello, Alejandra. I've stayed off social media lately trying to get better. I feel you. true. The Dow did go up to 50,000. It's true. That's true. Nothing else matters, right? Nothing else matters. Safety in the streets matters. This administration is causing more danger in the streets than anybody else. The danger is this administration and ICE and CBP. Is it today? I know that they were supposed to testify at some point. I don't remember what day it was. Administrations have nothing to do with street crime? Of course they can. If the people that work for the administration are the ones on the streets doing the crimes, then they absolutely can have something to do with street crime. Aww. Someone's upset that they got muted. Poor baby. Not a place to talk about the Dow in a courtroom with victims would have been held in contempt here in the UK. It's not a place to talk about it at all. You don't even know what that means, right? On fun. I know you think you like did something, but in the grand scheme of things, you don't even know what you're talking about. No, it's about normal, Garpu. Guys, if you haven't checked out the thumbnail for today's video, make sure you do. I had a lot of fun with it. Their arrogance is born out of their ignorance. Truth. How's the ballroom coming out? It's a giant hole in the ground. That's how it's coming out. Yep. That's a visual for how we're doing right now as a country. Truth. So true. So true. A multi-billion-dollar hole in the ground checks out. Yup. And now he's going to tear apart the Kennedy Center. Yeah, we'll see if that actually happens. We'll see if it actually happens. There's a joke in there about Trump not knowing his ballroom from a hole in the ground. Truth. Good morning, Bobia. I think he just closed it because he can't book anyone to come perform. Yeah. Yeah. Happy Monday. Good morning. Dun, 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 dun. He really wants his name and likeness everywhere. Sounds like similarities. Yup. Corruption and lies is through his whole. Yep. That's why I was amazed he got anyone considered hiring, like voting for him again. Wild. There is no bigger grifter in the entire planet than that man. Right. She had a weird laugh. Yep. Last thing us New Yorkers want is a name on another building here. I don't want his name on another building anywhere. It's nice to know we're spending our money wisely. Putting his name on things. The narcissism is real. Put his name on public toilets. There you go. There you go. Waiting for the statue. He wants to build the Arc de Triomphe. Thank you, Dynasty. He's doing it to piss you guys off. He's spending hundreds of millions of dollars to piss us off. He's destroying Washington, D.C. to piss us off. That sounds like something a whiny child would do. Oh, cats are back. Like a dog peeing all over the neighborhood. True. True. Hey, Silver. Hey, DDC. When's the earliest you can? I mean, he's in office for 2 years and 11 months. That's the earliest we as a people can do it. If we had the votes in Congress, we could get rid of him practically immediately. Impeachment wouldn't get rid of him, unfortunately. He'd have to have 67 votes in the Senate. And there's no way you got 67 votes in the Senate. The files should be enough. There aren't 18 or 19 Republican seats up for election, unfortunately. I think we have the potential now to flip, but if he loses, would he accept it? He doesn't have a choice. The president isn't in charge of elections. In the end, he can say whatever he wants. That's if Bondi doesn't get rid of them. What doesn't matter? Hey, Amanda. Let them cook. They all in it. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of people in it. And unfortunately, it doesn't matter because they're all wealthy. Yep. That's why we need to put people in office that are actually going to care. That's all we can do. That's all we can do. Thank you, party. Disagree, Molly. I don't. I disagree. It's time for people to actually get involved. Too many people in this country have been not involved. You think a revolution would get people involved? It wouldn't. System is broken. Every system is broken. No such thing as a non-broken system anywhere in the world. I disagree that it needs to fall. All that would create is anarchy. There would be no, you think a new system would form out of it? I don't. You think anarchy is great? Sounds like someone who's never lived in anarchy. What's up, Shug? No, but I know people that have. And I've talked to people that have. And I've watched reporting and interviews from people that have. And if you think you want that, shows a lack of humanity. No one should want that, ever. No one should want that, ever. Not if you want anarchy, you don't. You think going from having laws that some people in this country don't want to follow is worse than no laws at all? That's your opinion. You're right. That's my opinion. What's up, Patrick? The idea that no laws is better than what we're dealing with right now is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's short-sighted. When are the midterms? November. Primaries are starting to happen right now. And primaries are the most important at this point. People need to get involved in the primaries. That was weird. You got, because someone created that account. Shug. Well, I mean, if you watch the video that I posted today, we kind of talked about it. This idea that we live in some sort of Hunger Games style thing, and a Katniss Everdeen is going to come out and just, you know, fix all the problems. Yeah, it doesn't work like that. Dominoes will fall. Who knows what's going to happen? Ken. Don't know what dominoes will fall or what will end up happening. Got in the car yesterday and straight up screamed. I'm so angry. I'm sorry. It's this is a Star Wars episode. This is not a Star Wars episode either. This is real life. This isn't fantasy. Too much pressure now on our system to make this go away. I agree. Star Wars isn't fantasy. Of course it is. It's science fiction. Hypothetically speaking. Okay. Sure. When he wrote Star Wars, he used certain ideas when he wrote it, but it's still not reality. He made it up. The whole thing was made up. You can always find links in anything that you watch, anything that you read. Especially when it's science fiction or fantasy. What about Handmaid's Tale? What about Handmaid's Tale? I know this. I not dumb. Never said you were dumb. Hey, Candace. It's events that already happened. Hey, Rosa. Community people can come up if they want. What about Star Trek? You know, I say, you know, if everything else, might as well that too. I did not think today was going to be like this. I did not see this coming. I probably should have, but I didn't.
The way it is now, it's almost like it doesn't even make any sense to try to predict what's gonna happen because
No.
Lord only knows. Like, there's no fucking. I mean, we could wake up tomorrow and be in ice age or something crazy like that. It's almost kind of like, okay, what fresh hell awaits us for this day?
Yep. Pretty much. And Ambrosia, I have no issue with those statements because everyone that writes fantasy, science fiction, all of that uses things they have learned, things about the past when they write fantasy or sci-fi or any sort of story that is based, you know, there's often basis on reality. But that doesn't mean anything right now. And that doesn't change the fact that no one should want anarchy. Gosh, I still cannot believe that. Like it's bad here. It's bad. Don't get me wrong. It's bad. But it can get worse. It can get drastically worse. Like to a level that nobody who grew up in the United States and hasn't left can truly understand.
Yeah, I don't know enough about any of them to even speak on it.
I mean, again, I've read stories, I've read firsthand accounts from people that have lived in civil wars, in, you know, in those kind of environments where there was really no rules at that point. It's not something anyone should want in any way, shape, or form. Does that mean it will never be a reality? Of course not. Of course not. There is always a chance. But to sit here and say we need it, sorry. That is short-sighted and wrong. You're right, Molly. I can feel that way. again, when the leader of 1930s Germany was clearly losing, he doubled down on policies that made it worse for the German people. Yep, that's what they do. You think things being more expensive and us not being able to afford to survive makes it the best? Dang. What's more expensive? Electricity, heat, insurance, food, cars. Oh, you think that's funny? Housing in most of the country. In the West, actually, at least a little, housing prices have gone down a little bit, but there are reasons for that. What's up, Jose?
Sorry, I'm totally like out of my league. I'm like, I don't even know how to.
It's fine. Just got your opponent's mailer. Now that's Fantasyland. You're right, Molly. It's bad. That's why I'm interviewing people that want to stop that. That's how we fix things. That's why I'm trying to get people to vote in their primaries and get through progressive candidates. And then going to help push them so they can get through in the general election. Because that's how we fix things. We
I'm
need
really
more.
curious to see what the midterms, the primaries are going to look like, the numbers versus normal. Are we still going to see that we barely care, or are we going to see an increase in turnout for the primaries?
I hope so. Morning, Bonnie. There are literally thousands of people running that want to stop. They took the teaching of words out. Well, yeah, that's what happens when you defund education for so many years.
It's crazy how they want to defund education, but then turn around and provide bonuses for people doing horrible things.
Our education system is just our removing of funding of our education system is what's destroying our youth. The fact that we aren't funding our education well or correctly is what's causing the destruction. That and, firearm violence. That's not helping things either. Look up who made the education system. Oh my. Nope, not in blue cities. That's a dumb argument that has been shown to be false more times than I can count.
No Child Left Behind was so harmful. I think in the fact that we've gotten into teaching for scores instead of teaching for actual understanding
Sure.
and progressing our kids is so harmful too. Definitely needs to be refreshed, but you can't do that by taking a bunch of money away from it and trying to dismantle it and all those things. That's not how you make it better.
I can understand the overarching idea of No Child Left Behind, but the way they went about it was horrible. Yes, I believe everyone should have access to an education, a good education. But again, the way they did it was just wretched.
I think for me, the issue I have with No Child Left Behind at all is for those children who, like my middle son. I have two sons. My youngest son was like in the AIG, the Academically and Intelligently Gifted program.
Mhm.
Him and my older son's school was really easy. My middle son struggled a lot. And just the whole concept of saying even No Child Left Behind, I don't see how that promotes better learning for our kids. Like it just never, because not all kids learn the same, and just because they don't learn at the same speed level or in the same way shouldn't make them feel different,
Mhm.
different or othered, I should say.
Mhm. That's why I said the overarching idea that education should be quality and accessible to all people, good. That does not mean what it turned into, which is everyone gets educated based on test scores and things like that. Real good education, which has been shown in other countries, involves teaching people in the ways they learn, in things that are of interest to them, every educating. There are certain basics that I think everyone needs to learn for survival in society, but past that, I don't think we can put everyone in that same box, and we need to stop trying to put people in that same box.
Yeah, it was just bad legislation. It was just bad. And it just, and that's the thing, it's like when people don't, when you don't realize like how much more voting affect it's not just, you're not just picking a president, you're, there's so many things that are affected, or politics doesn't affect me. When you say things like that, these are those ways, and that for decades it could definitely affect you, your children, your family.
Yep. Hate people that say just so frustrating. The fact that anyone who says that has never walked into a school ever. Like literally ever.
I agree. Aaron said we're pushing too hard, too young, which turns kids' curiosity to learn off at a young age.
Mhm.
And I think, and I agree, Aaron. And I also think because of the fact that we don't pay attention to how they learn, because it's just like one of the things I think, like being an effective leader, like a good leader, I paid attention to how people learn. Some people will just pay attention to what you say, other people have to do it hands on, some people need a mixture of both. And figuring out how they learn, and then not just sitting them in a class doing a bunch of stuff that they're never going to use, get them into stuff that's going to be interesting. I think they need to change the focus of how we educate, get them, like, You wanna work on cars? Let's give you classes because you can use turn math into a way. Look at all the fractions that are involved with the different tools and all the different things. What do the different measurements mean? How big of a difference does it make?
I mean, Silver, you're right. Uh, but that's a parenting problem for some parents. Uh, we just we need to stop worrying about that stuff. We need to teach kids to enjoy learning and let them become what the best of what they can be. The problem right now is we focus so much on testing and scores that we've made kids hate learning as a whole. So they don't even get a chance to figure out what they would want to be or what they enjoy doing. So, yes, I agree. If we had a society that cared more about, that supported everybody equally and gave and was more about having people work in places and doing things that they're good at and that they enjoy doing, in that's all part of a society that works together, things would in the grand scheme of things be better, because we wouldn't be sitting like, to an extent I understand why parents, as someone, with a kid who was in the school system, I understand why there's a pressure for them to want their kids to get certain kinds of jobs, because in this society it can be really hard. There's we never did that with our kid, but I can understand the worry. If tariffs are so high, can't the states take their tax rates off or lower to counteract the so you don't want a city or a state to actually be able to do anything? Is that what you're saying, Lori? Like, you don't want roads fixed, or
You don't want the states to change their taxes to affect what the government's doing.
you don't want any funding in schools? You don't want, like, states and local, like, the money you get from there affects your everyday life way more in the grand scheme of things. I don't think you don't want water treatment plants in your state or city, or firefighters, or police officers, or judges, or the myriad of other things that are covered by your state and local taxes. Our high school offered college courses for advanced students. My granddaughter took calculus. Yeah, I mean, my kids' high school did too. It did when I was in high school. Here's the thing. I don't agree with that. I think it's the only reason that having the ability to take college courses in high school is good is because of how expensive college is. It allows you to basically finish college faster, so you don't have to spend as much money. That's the only reason there is value to that. In the grand scheme of things, it's still a problem.
I'll say, like, I like the program that they offer, like, my oldest one wanted to go into the service, so he didn't end up doing it because he had to take ROTC, but I like what my niece ended up graduating with, where she did high school and college at the same time. So when she graduated, she had her high school diploma and her associate's degree.
Yeah.
So that kind of cut a lot of those unnecessary classes and things and stuff like that out of the way. And it was free for her to be able to do that. Her books were paid for, for students who don't have transportation. Transportation is provided as well from like those, even at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I see the buses rolling out. So something like that. But we definitely have to change. Just like I was finishing up one of the interviews and they were talking about, I think in Texas, talking about the vouchers, and it just made me sit there and think of here. And I'm like, you sit there and you take 463 million, uh, tax dollars from and put it into vouchers for public schools. Like that should be so against the law. I can't understand the fact that they can even do that. And you've got schools that had to close because the heater's not working or the AC's not working or the water, the pipes and stuff had to be fixed. That's insane.
Yep. And again, I think it is great in the sense of it gives kids that want to go to college, found something they really like, maybe don't have a ton of money and have that capability of getting 2 years or just some college courses done. I think that's great. That is fantastic. That is using the system in which it is already set up in such a way that helps. In the grand scheme of things, the problem is still the system that we need to fix. That
Yeah, because oh, I'm sorry.
Nope, you can go.
Yeah, because because one of the things, guess who was able to take advantage. And all I can speak about is for my area, my county. Guess who was able to take advantage of that, being able to get even if it's just an associate's degree for free. There was a lot of BIPOC and minority children that were able to take advantage of that,
Mhm.
not having to pay for tuition, not paying having to pay for all of those things. But I do think like vocational schools, like I've talked about before, the BOCES program where you went to school half of the day, and then in BOCES you did like nursing, automobile repair, carpentry, plumbing, HVAC, all that stuff while going to high school. Like those kind of things, because I know I knew my middle son would never go to college. Just getting him through high school was enough. And I saw somebody say something about homework. I totally agree. I had a college teacher tell us that before. Like they didn't give homework. They're like, you spent all day long in school, literally all day long would your brain being bombarded with information and stuff. When you get home, you shouldn't have to spend 2 or 3 more hours doing more school. You should be able to go home, relax, do your things, whatever you got to do,
Mhm.
study if you've got time. But I totally agree that homework does not do, because it just makes the kids more pissy. Like what kids excited about getting homework to take home? When they get out of school, they want to be done with school for the day. And making them take it home and have to work for hours on homework, that does not make a kid want to do better in school.
In the end, what needs to happen, in my opinion, obviously, again, my opinion, um, the first year or two of high school should all high school and college should be free. That doesn't mean you can't pay and go to a specific to other pay colleges, but there should be free available. The first year or two of everyone's high school should be about making sure they know basics, stuff that matters, that is needed for survival, and that you may get taught most of that even before high school. So high school can be about something different. But after whatever that point is, where they learn the kind of things that they need to learn, it should be about figuring out what all of school should be figuring out what how kids learn and what a kid is good at, and encouraging them to want to learn and to want to get better and to want, like, encouraging that and not worrying so much about test scores. Because again, you get kids that are willing, you get a kid who enjoys learning, they will they'll go crazy.
Good morning, everybody.
Clara.
Good morning.
Hey, um, as a mom of adult kids, mine are 38 to 31. Just really quick, my oldest had an IEP, which is an individual educational program for some learning processes, and was in the gifted and talented program. Um, I had another son that had an IEP all the way through high school, and some of it was a real struggle for him to get him to graduate. And both my daughters took regular classes and some college courses. One thing I saw when that happened is, one, parents need to get their egos out of the way with how their kids need to be educated, and um, and advocate and support them with what their needs are. That that is the one thing. Rather than worrying about what their grades are, what their testing is, they need to get their ego out of the way to help. Um, and two, I agreed with somebody in the chat. We need to bring like home ec back. We need to bring a lot of times, we had wood shop, we had all these things in middle school that kind of geared kids a little bit into some of these classes that may or may not support their interests, but at least they had experience. And then, for those that do want to go into the trades, I mean, I will tell you, as somebody who worked within the trades are praying for people to come and apprentice in the trades because of the fact that they don't have the people coming up. And so there's a shortage out there right now. And they're so important for our society to keep going. And you know, um, you know, it just needs to. I get frustrated because I feel like kids need to stop being tested, have everything geared towards testing rather than their learning. And I mean, I had woodshop, I had home. Because I moved around a lot as a kid, I literally had home ec for like 5 years. Because, that's the last class that everybody wants to take as an elective. So, but it's important. But what's most important too is I have seen a lot of parents abdicate their responsibilities towards working with their kids, understanding their kids, and advocating for their kids too. And I'm not blaming all of it on parents, but the reality is that as parents, you're the first teachers. So that's just my 2 cents.
We've definitely created a society where, as a whole, parents don't aren't as involved. Although, in the same respect, there are some parents out there that I don't ever want to be involved in their kid's life in any way, shape, or form. We've got so many problems right now.
But what it has to do is the ego of the parent. I mean, I had to step back and say, I have two boys that have some learning issues, one of them more significant than the other, and realize that this is about them and not about me in
Sure.
order to advocate.
Totally agree.
And if I can, real quick, and I know I'm taking up a lot of time, but this kind of thing really irks me to the core. And it kind of comes back to the keeping up with the Joneses, um, and material things that society has kind of really perpetuated, um, a lot is, I got the better car, I got the better house, I got the better kid. Look at the, you know, um, all of those things. And it's a mentality that kind of perpetuates that as well, which also undermines a lot of society because you're worried about your pocketbook, um, and not the other things in society that we need, um, within our communities.
Hmm. Yep. Yeah. Uh, we've we've created a society that is perpetually spiraling downwards. Which is why I keep saying anyone who thinks that we need X, Y, or Z to fix this, we need X, Y, and Z, and probably A, B, C, D, E, and F too. Like it's all in the Bible. No, it's not. No, it's not. I've read the Bible more than you have, guaranteed. It's not. Morning, Ghost. And
Not
again,
only do we need,
what?
oh, I was just going to say, not only do we need A through Z, but we need 1 through 100 too. Because there's just so many different spokes to this wheel that need to be addressed.
In the grand scheme of things, I understand why, because I deal with it too. We all deal with it. There's a desire for this stuff to get fixed fast because we're constantly seeing, like we're constantly engaging with this stuff in the news. We are seeing people actively being hurt, and there is always going to be a desire when this kind of stuff goes on that we can, that we can fix it. We don't want to see people being hurt. We don't want to see these kind of things happening. But the reality, just because we are a large country with a lot of people in it, is it's going to take time, and it's going to take work, and it's going to take uncomfortable conversations and difficult conversations and painful realities and time for some of these people who have been living in a bubble for whatever reason. They have to work their way through the bubble and work their way through their own reality before we can change that reality. And that's the hardest part. It's probably the biggest problem that we have on the quote unquote left right now, is that there's a desire by many of us who have seen this for a while to put down people that are just seeing it. And again, I'm not talking about any specific people. There are obviously people that have every right to feel angry about it. But I know that I did not go from not seeing it to seeing it in a snap of a finger. So I don't know what that ends up meaning. I can see lots of possibilities on how we deal with it, but I wouldn't say there's an easy answer to it no matter what. Deprogramming. Yeah, deprogramming takes time. The person that I interviewed, I don't remember how many months ago it was, who's former MAGA, she said it took, see you, Jelly. She said it took her like 3 years to work through how she saw the world and how she viewed things, to an extent that she felt like she could interact with people on the left in any good way. And we see that. We see people that start realizing it and think they can just come over and everything's good. They realize it's not good. And sometimes they may go back, or sometimes they just close up. And again, these are all valid responses. The people that are angry have every right to be angry. The people that are just figuring their way out shouldn't be expected to have everything figured out, because chances are they grew up in a bubble and had no experience other than what they dealt with. And unfortunately, social media doesn't really give us time, because someone who just realized it and made a post, maybe trying to interact with people that were going through or had gone through what they're going through, ends up getting pushed to people that have seen this for a long time and are tired and done with people that helped cause this to happen. It's a very difficult situation in the grand scheme of things. There's a lot of we say this all the time. This isn't a black and white problem we're dealing with. There is about 1,000 different kinds of nuance all in between. I mean, even this whole Hassan Piker thing with saying, being asked if it was JD Vance and Gavin Newsom, who would you vote for? Bullshit. I'm so tired of that question. If you don't want to vote for him, I totally agree. And we're not going to get into, when we get to the general election, what you would actually do, because that's so far away. We're still not pushing this idea of what are we going to do during the primaries. Like there's this idea from so many people that some reason Gavin Newsom has already been chosen as the Democratic nominee for president. And I'm so fucking tired of it. He hasn't even thrown into the race, let alone become the nominee. There's a whole primary thing that still needs to happen. I'm not a fan of Gavin. I'm not going to vote for Gavin in the primary. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure he is not the nominee, because I don't like him. That's all we should be focusing on. Deciding what we do after that is a thing that we decide after the primaries, not now. Would I vote for Gavin depending on who he was running against? Yes. But I don't care about that now, because right now I want to make sure that Gavin is not the choice to begin with.
Same. Like, Gavin is not my choice, but if he is the choice, but it's crazy that they're saying that now. It's like, who the fuck gives a fuck about Gavin? Let's stop talking about Gavin. Let's stop trying to come up with shit for you guys to talk about and more divisiveness to cause. Just shut the fuck up. It's not, we don't know who's running yet.
This is, again, always vote harm reduction. When we're talking general election, yes. But we're not talking general election. We're talking primaries. Who would you like to see run? Honestly, and I know I've heard some people be like, yeah, we need to talk to it now because people are going to start running soon. I don't care. At this moment, what matters to me is getting people out to run, to vote in the primaries for the midterms, so we can actually start getting the changes that we want. That's what we need to worry about. If 15 to 20% of the voting population get out on the primaries again, then it's going to be more of the status quo. If you want change, then everyone needs to get their ass out and vote in the primaries. Because most people are either dealing with being in a red district where a progressive is running, but isn't going to get much help because they're not going to take PAC money and so they don't have a mass chest of money to spend. Or they're running in a blue district where an incumbent's there, so they need name recognition, but they still aren't going to take PAC money, which still means they need help. We need to stop focusing on things that have nothing to do with right now. I don't mind us mentioning, saying, I don't like Gavin Newsom. I don't have a problem with that. I hope Gavin Newsom doesn't win. Don't have a problem with that. That is a valid thing that I 100% agree with. And I've said, when that time comes around, I will be doing whatever I can to make sure he does not win the primaries. But you deciding what this country looks like is done in the primaries, not in the general election. You're bullshit. Bullshit, Old Ranger. Bullshit. The only thing that I guarantee that looks better now probably than previous 4 years is your 401k. And for people like me, I don't care about my 401k. I'm not retiring for a long time. I care more about my ability to pay my bills. We need to stop worrying about the presidential election in general conversation.
I can only speak for myself, but there's so much that is so overwhelming for me that I'm having to just break it down to right now I'm worrying about the primaries and how I'm going to vote in the primaries and not worrying about who I'm going to vote for in the midterm elections because I don't know who's going to make it through. So I can't worry about that. We don't know who's going to come up and be an excellent or the best candidate for president because we're not there yet. We don't have people that are running and putting together platforms. I can't emotionally and mentally worry about that right now because I just don't have the bandwidth with everything going on. So I'm kind of agree, I'm just breaking it down differently, but it's just like that's that's as much as I can do right now. Um because there's too many unknowns and I can't go into the rabbit hole of hypotheticals right now.
Mm-hmm. Ensuring they're free and fair. They already are free and fair. The problem is that people don't get out and vote. And the problem is that there are people that are trying to do other things. There are people that are trying to make it hard for people to get out and vote. But the elections themselves, SAVE Act is BS. The SAVE Act will not, I firmly believe that the SAVE Act will not get even brought out in Congress. SAVE Act 1.0 didn't make it because they knew it wouldn't. It was unconstitutional. SAVE Act 2.0 is worse than 1.0. And again, obviously nothing's ever a 0% chance. But if 1.0 couldn't get through for that reason, I don't see how 2.0 could, when 2.0 is arguably worse.
The other point I was going to make about the primaries is if you get out and vote on the primaries and you vote for somebody that may be a quote unquote long shot, but they deal with most of your values. I think it also gives a wake up call to the person who actually wins the primary about what a majority of people are really thinking about and believing in and are important to them within that primary as well. So it gives them more information about what people are really interested in.
The only people that have ever paid tariffs are American citizens, Mr. Green. Literally the only people. Unless you are saying that all companies that pay the tariffs are not owned by American citizens. Literally the only people that pay tariffs that we put on other countries are American citizens. Anything that you bought that came from another country. Furniture. False? No, not false. That's literally the only way it works. It's literally the only way it works. There is tariff on furniture. There's been tariff on furniture for a while. What are you talking about? Anything that gets imported from China or Canada or Mexico or the EU. Anything that's imported right now that's got tariffs on it. An American citizen is paying for it. Oh my gosh, dude. You don't care about proof. That's bullshit. Early voting in Texas begins tomorrow. And if you're in North Carolina, early voting is already underway. The fact is many small businesses have already shown proof of the tariffs that they have had to pay. So many small businesses have closed down because of the tariffs. Many businesses have said that their prices have gone up because of the tariffs. I don't know, Jamie. Probably. We've been having this tariff conversation for a year. If they don't understand yet, they're choosing to be ignorant. That is their entire life right now, is choosing to be ignorant. That's why they keep using the word proof. Because when your response can always be, that's fake. I could have shown him something that said that I paid a tariff, and he would have said I made it up.
It's the cognitive dissonance and the willful ignorance.
Oh, we are there's argument that we're already in a recession. The only reason we're not feeling it is because the wealthiest people in our country are holding things up right now. We are in a K-shaped economy. So for the bottom 80%, we are absolutely in a recession. Absolutely. Hello, Ash. Welcome to the TikTok. Stagflation. Yep.
And I think that part of the issue is like, and now with all of the crazy things that have been going on and numbers that are reported and then have to run around and be like really, really fixed and I just don't believe anything. Like finding out, that, the cubes had sat there and lied about being attacked by that young man that they pew-pewed in the leg, and then come to find out everything they said was a lie, that Gnome had got on TV and said that shit. So isn't that like a case for defamation for them? Like this shit is just ridiculous. And I think they forget there's cameras. And I think what they think is they can just voice over what's being shown and just tell people and they're going to believe them. But I mean, come on. If you think that one incident, you think that's like an isolated incident with everything that's been going on with the cubes? No.
No, I mean there's another one, the one that happened in Chicago with the woman who was fired upon 5-6 times because they said that she blocked them in or whatever, and then there's video to show that it wasn't actually the case. I mean, there's so much stuff out there that's showing that they just lie through their teeth. But you're right, Aaron, stagflation and shrinkflation. It's already been shown that they're also reducing either the quality or the quantity of things that they're selling to keep the prices the same at minimum. Was there ever an investigation regarding the man who they ran over his legs with a car? I don't know, Frodo. Not off the top of my head. I don't know. Hey, Outer. This is happening in the UK. It's happening in a lot of places. Again, this is what happens when capitalism becomes everything. Even in the UK, where you have like you have capitalism mixing with a social democracy. There's still capitalism. And if capitalism is still the upper tier of importance, that this is what we are always going to deal with this. Yeah, the UK is dealing with it, where the people at the top have tons of money and everybody else are like can't afford anything. So many countries are dealing with it. You know, it's tough for everybody, Vonda. Tough for everybody. Girthy pickles, too. It's just harder to get a girthy pickle these days.
Ugh.
The lawsuits that will follow this is going to be astounding. The courts are going to be... They're already full. How many cases are in the courts right now with this administration for people that are suing this administration and the amount of people that this administration are bringing to court? Hundreds, if not thousands at this point.
I'm curious, do they have, because there's over 600 cases right now, do they have like an estimated cost of what these 600 cases that are floating around there, what the price so far, what that's going to cost us?
I haven't seen a number, but millions, tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions.
That's just waste, fraud, and abuse, though, right?
Mm-hmm. Before the C Tesco profit was 13 to 20 million pounds. Now the new post was 3.1 billion. Yeah. Yep.
You couldn't have told me as a little kid that you should be suspicious of people who have patriotic or patriot or 1776 or any kind of version of that in their name by the time I was a grown up.
Mm-hmm. Wild. It's wild.
There's so many things. It's like when I used to watch CBS mornings, and I haven't in months. But when I used to watch it, and they would have this one little series thing, and I think it might have been like on the Saturday edition. And it was like letters to my former self or whatever, and it would be like different celebrities, whether they were cooks or athletes or actresses or whatever, and they would write letters to themselves as if they were writing to them as a kid.
Mm.
And there's so many things that I think if I wrote now and I was to go back in the 1980s and read it as a kid or early 90s, I wouldn't have believed me.
Yeah. Just as a reminder, guys, this Friday, during the live, we are going to be interviewing Elizabeth Dempsey Beggs, who's running for Congress in Virginia. I'm actually working with someone who's running for Congress in Illinois to do a live interview next week with them. Not sure if it's going to be during a live time or a different time, but giving people a chance to ask questions, and hopefully some people in their district will actually be there. Also, yes, go over to the tube, watch videos. Are you doing any interviews for Kentucky? Yep. Yes, I have interviewed multiple people over in Kentucky. I'm just getting the people out whose midterms are now or soon first. But yes, I have interviewed multiple people in Kentucky. At least 3 so far. Would you ever interview a candidate for governor? Yes, I have. Actually re-interviewed them again. Interviewed 2 people for governor. Someone who's running for governor in Colorado and Georgia. So yes, absolutely would. Chances are we've reached out to them, but yeah, let Rosa or Ash know who, and they can tell you if we've already reached out.
Governorships are important.
Mm-hmm. I mean, state senator seats are important. That's state legislature seats are important. That's why I'm interviewing all of them, because they all, if I had a whole group of people in my in my team, there I would be interviewing even locals, because that's how important I think those are. I just can't do all of them. I can't do it all. Yes, we've reached out to a ton of gubernatorial races. Not heard back from many, but definitely reached out to a ton. But again, we can't force them. All we can do is reach out.
Do you know how many governors you've interviewed so far?
2 people running for governor. Colorado and Georgia. I feel like there may be another one on the list, but I can't remember anymore. There's so many people. Because I'm also trying to get people just to interview for general, like the one that went today was a more general one. I have not heard back from any of the people who are running for governor in Texas. We have reached out to them, but I have not heard back. Just for people's awareness of what's coming up that's non-candidate related, I'm interviewing someone who is in Minneapolis. She's going to talk about what it's like there right now when they're supposedly leaving. I'm interviewing someone who does a sport that the Olympics aren't allowing to be a women's sport. It's a men's sport, but not a women's sport. Trying to give that a little visibility, because
Which sport?
Nordic combined. I saw her talking about it on TikTok, so I reached out, because if men have a competition on it, I think women should have a competition on it too. I think it's ridiculous, especially if there are people that actually do it as a sport. Like her brother actually got to compete on the men's side, but she didn't get to compete. What sport is Nordic combined? Honestly, I don't fully know, but we're going to find out. That's one of the things I plan to ask, is to let her describe what Nordic combined is. But it's a winter sport. Involves skiing, I think, in some way. Probably skiing and shooting and other things. Combined usually means multiple different sports in one thing. So, I did an interview with a pastor who is a member of the LGBTQIA community. It was an amazing conversation. You guys will just fall in love with her. She is the sweetest woman you have ever seen. And I just got someone who signed up. So in Georgia, there's a group called Fighting 50. It's a group of people that it's a organization that helps veterans run in races to make sure no one runs unopposed in Georgia. So I actually just heard from him. He said in 2022 there were 51 unopposed seats, and this year there's only 20 unopposed seats because of what they're doing. So cross-country skiing and ski jumping, skiing and marksmanship is the biathlon. Gotcha. There you go. Trying to think if there are any other non-candidate ones that I'm doing. Can't remember off the top of my head. Might as well let you guys know because it is happening. Layla Staten, you guys know she's running for state, running to be a representative for Iowa, is also going to join the team and help do interviews. So I'm not doing all of them. So that's pretty cool. Yes, me too. Me too. Hopefully we can get some more people that can help because they're just a lot of interviews. She lost. No, she hasn't lost. It's a part-time job and she doesn't have another job right now. Her job is running. So she can do some interviews in there. She wants to help. She wants to help other people. She wants to help other progressives get voted into office. So
Hey, I'm not feeling that hot. Would you mind going ahead and dropping me? I'm
Sure.
gonna go ahead and head out. I love you guys, and I'm really glad you're getting some help.
yeah, I hope you feel better.
Thanks, brother. Love you guys.
Love you. Hey, April. Nordic Combined is the only sport that's male exclusive. Yep. That's what she said. That's why we're gonna have a conversation with her. But yeah, there's a lot of cool things going on. It's really just we have reached out to Amy. I think Ash or Rosa can have a better knowledge of whether we have, but chances are we have reached out. There you go. I thought we did. Again, people in these bigger races are going to be a little bit harder to get to join, but we keep trying. I mean, if you guys want to reach out to them too and be like, you should get interviewed by this person, I wouldn't say no. Or like tag us in one of her videos and be like, you should get interviewed by this person. Those kind of things do help. Name recognition helps. Just like we're trying to help these candidates get name recognition, we need name recognition too. Yeah, we probably need to reach out to the ones that haven't responded again. You have to bounce a little early. Got some work to do. All right, Carla. I could, yeah, she sounded tired at minimum. Linda. Thank you. I appreciate that, Susie. But yeah, please watch the videos of the interviews that we've done so far. It really helps them. Like I said, we're trying to help them get name recognition and visibility. And the best way to do that is to watch and share, especially if you know people in the state. Especially if you know people in the state. I think I've only interviewed one person in Ohio, and they're running for a state seat. See you, Phantom. I'm probably going to get off a little bit early. My family's off, obviously, because it's President's Day, so want to hang out with them. I've got 3 or 4 interviews today. I don't remember how many. Multiple interviews today. 3 interviews today. But what you guys can do for the rest of the time is go watch the most recent episode that we posted. Like I said, you need to check out the thumbnail. It's funny. I spent far too much time on it, but I was having a blast doing it. So, guys, if you're over here on TikTok, please hit that. Please hit that. Please grab all those points. And also follow over on the tube. We're trying to grow over there. We're 105 subs away from 2,000. So also sharing the stuff there with people that might be interested in it helps potentially get subs. And the more I can grow, the more I can bring people on, and the more stuff I can do. So if you like what we do, that's kind of stuff really helps a lot. So yeah. All right, guys. I will see you tomorrow morning. Keep an eye out for advertisements for the thing happening on Friday, and make sure to share that out, especially again if you know people in Virginia. And yeah, thank you for the likes, the shares, and the gifts. You guys rock. Thank you so very much for everything you guys do and for all of the support you guys give. You guys are amazing just the way you are, and I love you all very much. Stay safe, stay healthy. Remember to sing, laugh, dance, smile. Do something that makes you happy. Bye, guys. Goodbye, YouTube. You rock. Love you.